I'm muted. Oh, there we go. Welcome, everybody. We are the XoneBros. This is your positive gaming and Xbox One community. We are three guys in our mother's basement recording this, so please have patience with us.
Are we? I don't think we are.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Guys, this is podcast number 306. It is so good to be here. As always, I am joined by the bros, the XoneBros. First and foremost, it is Mr. McSpicy, the man.
Hello, how's it going?
Jordan, the man, is here as well with us, as
Hello.
always. And I am X1. We are the XoneBros. We do have an announcement on our community play. It's
Again?
tomorrow. Again. It is being delayed again.
Yeah.
We're just gonna make it next month. We just gonna call it a loss because a lot of people have messaged us that it's Easter. Plus, I'm getting sod delivered tomorrow, and I'm using both Spicy and Jordan the Man as free slave labor.
It's true.
So yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna make Forza Motorsport next month. Don't forget, we still have Battle Royale at the end of this month.
Yep, Realm Royale
what is
on
the
the
date?
25th of April, and then
25th. Realm
Forza
Royale
will be next month.
Forza will
in
be
May.
next month. So make sure you have that downloaded. We apologize for the confusion and for it's been a crazy week. Don't forget, Gamer Club this month is Ori Will of the Wisps.
Yep,
And
good.
I actually know Gamer Month next month. Should I announce Gamer Club game for next month?
No.
Because it's a big one.
No, at least give us like 15 more days.
It would excite McSpicy.
Uh-oh.
Ah.
It would very much excite him.
Oh,
I feel like I really want to announce it.
Let's just say I like to get excited.
Why don't you just give us a clue?
No, don't. I don't want to spoiled.
Yeah.
There is a T in the
I
title
said no.
of the game.
Okay,
of
that
the
works.
game
That's
somewhere.
okay.
There's a
Could
T.
it could be a lot of things.
Could be a lot of things.
Wow, is this? There's a lot of things that start with T that I really enjoy.
Well, he said
At least two.
He said T in the title, so I mean
title.
it could be like Battle Toads, you know,
Oh.
Jordan's getting warm.
or Battle. You know, see.
Okay.
T's and those.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Don't look at me like that. You're making me feel uncomfortable.
Anyways, Ori Will and the Wisp is our gamer club. We all try to play a game a month. Head over to Discord, xonebros.com/Discord, and you can join our Discord. We have a gamer club channel there. Come join us. Guess what?
Okay. What's
It's
that?
time. It's actually time for the news. That's all we had.
Sorry, we got good
That's
stuff
all we
this
had.
week.
We got it going. So to our next segment of the show.
Yeah, there we go. Gotcha. We're good at.
There it
All
is.
right. So first things first. There was an Inside Xbox this week.
There was.
Which we're probably going to go over half the stuff that was in the news.
Absolutely.
But if you want to watch it, it's really good. They have a little recap version
I
of 3 minutes.
actually
and
really like the recap.
Yeah.
They did a good job
Yeah,
with
they
it.
have a little recap version. It's about 3 minutes on YouTube, but it's on our Facebook page as well. And then they have the full version, which is about 40 minutes. It was kind of interesting to see this one because everybody's doing it from their house.
Yeah.
So basically, they kind of cut to different sections of people at their homes
Yeah. That's Phil
so, yeah.
Spencer gave like a nice little, hey guys.
at the
how you
beginning.
doing?"
So it'll be interesting to see how they do because I assume they're going to do some type of, it's not E3, but some type of E3 video type of thing.
By then that'll be like an at-work professional presentation.
thing like
guaranteed.
that, yeah. So
Guaranteed.
anyway, but before we get into the deep news, I have
the
one
deep
special news story for each of you.
Oh,
So,
is
yeah.
it the same one, or do we get
No, it's
each individually?
You each get a different one.
It's all
Yeah.
wrapped in this.
So
Awesome.
for David, and,
yes,
and
for me
this
first.
one's kind of a little bit for me too. But for David,
Yes, here we go.
Construction Simulator is now
Oh,
now
yes.
available on the
We can-
Xbox
we
One.
can build.
Yeah, you're going over to Europe.
We're doing some,
yeah,
a lot of
you're-
regulations there.
That's
It's a little more tedious
they did
of a
say
building.
They did say it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, it's a lot more regulations. You got to deal
And
with a lot of bureaucracy.
I
there with
think
some red
this
tape.
one. I think this one looks the best. You literally get in your bulldozer and like push the dirt. It's hilarious. You get in a crane
That is
operator.
cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool ones.
funny.
For Mark,
Wait, can you be injured on the job?
it's a simulator. So
Yeah.
and maybe there's
You can
workman's
probably
comp.
join unions.
Yeah,
and
unions, workman's comp, all that good
Oh,
stuff.
right.
OSHA, you got to deal with that. Well, I don't know what it's called.
injured on the job, and then you get workman's comp, and then you're
sit there for
quarantined
a
in your
while.
home.
Dude,
You
these
can't go out and
simulators,
work.
Farming simulator, construction simulator, bridge simulator. I like these simulator games. They're fun.
They're
for
good.
spicy.
They're
I
good.
think I know Spicy's.
Yeah, you
I
probably
think I
do. It was actually in Inside Xbox.
I actually freaked out and I almost purchased it today, but I'm
yeah,
waiting.
they have now on the Xbox available the Hotline Miami collection. Yeah.
$24.99 is the price.
$24.99.
Go purchase it right now. That game is built for a
I'm
controller.
buying it right
Yep.
now.
It is the
Oh my
Hotline Miami
gosh.
collection now available on the Xbox along with Construction Simulator.
Yeah, that's a big,
Depending
that's a
on
big
what your,
announcement. Now,
yeah.
let's talk about Hotline Miami
That's
real
so
quick. It's
hot.
only been on the PC up until now. Spicy, tell us a little bit. Why is Hotline Miami one of your top games of all time, really?
Yeah, it's so good. It's been on the Switch for a good 5 months now.
Yeah, that's correct. That's right. I remember that.
I bought it then too. This is one of those games I'm buying on every system that it comes out
what makes
on.
it? Why do you like it so much?
The atmosphere.
I'll tell you what.
cool.
The music is fantastic.
Well, that's You play this game with your headset on. It's like top down, old school, weird pixel art. It's twin stick shooter style game, although it's a lot more difficult than your casual twin stick shooter.
Yeah.
But my gosh, you don't play that game, you experience it. If you guys have not played Hotline Miami, it is so good. The music, I think that game has influenced music that we hear today on basically all streams that you hear. Like Dr. Disrespect likes that dark synth. Yeah. There's that dark 80s synth wave that's really, it's so hot right now. You know what I mean? And I believe that it's because this game had artists like Perturbator, Carpenter Brute, all these artists that were kind of paving the way for that music to come back and shine. About 9 years ago, I think this game came out, the first one, and the second one came out a couple years later. I honestly feel that the reason we're hearing this badass synthwave music now that just it touches you all in the right places, it's just that 80s feel, is because of this game.
Yeah,
which is weird to say because it was just an indie game, and it wasn't meant to be big and everything, but when I play this game, it's an experience. It is so good.
And this is just not a spicy opinion. This is basically
a universal opinion
about Hotline Miami, and you were getting the entire package. You're getting Hotline Miami and Hotline Miami 2, and wasn't there some DLC as well for those games? So it's $24.99 on Xbox. That was announced during Xbox Insider. That was huge news.
A little bit more. I know you probably want to finish, but if you guys ever saw that movie with it was called Drive, I believe, with what's his face?
Ryan
Gosling. The movie, it was an interesting movie. It was like an indie style movie, but that movie is about a driver who he goes and just beats the crap out of all these gangsters and stuff in a mask. That game, Hotline Miami, is loosely based on the idea of approaching mafias and gangsters and stuff like that wearing different masks. The different masks give you different abilities, and you unlock those masks as you play the game.
That is cool.
But the music, man, it is so good.
There you go.
I want everybody to play this game. I really do.
Wait a minute. Hotline Miami has a T in it.
Are you kidding?
I don't know. This guy's going to be crazy.
I'm kidding you. I will just announce it. Next month's game club is Hotline Miami.
Are you kidding? Yes.
So now you got to save it. You got to hit the brakes. Save it. Save it for me. And which is good.
So good.
Because there's a lot of games you got to play this month.
Yeah.
Everybody do not play this game with the TV and just sitting there. I want you to have the kids go to bed. Oh yeah, it's kind of bloody too. It's actually really bloody as far as pixel art goes. Holy cow! But and the game, the Hotline Miami 2 was banned in Australia. Just saying, just saying. But wear some good headphones to listen to that music, and you are going to it's hard, but you're gonna it's so good.
Now you know I was biting.
It's Hotline Miami.
Jumping at the bit to say something.
I'm so excited.
So this month is still Ori, and then next month will be
Hotline Miami.
Which one? It is the collection.
I would. The better one is 2.
2?
But do you have to play 1 to get 2?
Wait, how long? How long is each game?
They're different stories.
How long is each game?
The first one's maybe 6 hours.
Oh, okay.
That's not
the second one's maybe 12.
Yeah, we could do both.
I would say
Hotline Miami collection.
The collection. The
so
entire collection.
do both. Yeah. It's cool. Like the second game messes with your mind when it ends.
Mind blown.
Yeah. Oh man. But the first game you kind of get the idea of the phone calls you get to. You're kind of a paid assassin, right? So it's really good. It's hot. It's the hotline.
Miami.
It is. Huh. We have some Call of Duty news.
Yeah, so patch week, Call of Duty came out with their big patch. It was a title update, so no matter where you were, you got it. Season 3, so you got the Season 3 Battle Pass that came out. They added a whole bunch of new stuff. They added 3 new multiplayer maps, which were pretty fun. I was playing them today. They added quads to BR and took away trios, and then quickly, a day or two later, I think it was today actually, put it back.
Put it back, yeah.
So it was really interesting. I think I understand why they took it out.
So wait, when you say quads, you mean
I mean 4.
four-man
Yeah,
squads.
sorry, yeah, that happened to me
You've
earlier.
got
I said
the- you've
quads.
got the
Yeah,
cars.
no.
So-
So they got 4. They got 4-man squad.
There we go.
3-man
In Warzone.
squad and a solo
Yeah.
1-man squad, if you will. It'd be cool if they added duos and stuff. I see why they don't add all those, because whenever you add those playlists, you fragment your community.
Yeah.
Therefore, matchmaking could take longer.
Yeah.
Having the 3 in there, the 4-man, the 3-man, and the solo, matchmaking is still pretty quick. I mean, you got a lot of people playing.
Oh,
and crossplay certainly
one of the
helps,
biggest games in the
right?
world. So
A lot of bug fixes and stuff. They did mess with the auto. I have been hearing people say
Keep going,
that
yeah, keep
audio's been fixed. You know, you can hear footsteps better and stuff like that, which has kind of plagued Call of Duty Modern Warfare for quite some time lately. So anyway, a lot of people have been saying that's been working, because they did say make some audio adjustments.
that's good.
New weapons, new operators. If you played the campaign, Alex is one of the
Ooh,
operators
Alex.
now. Yes, so he's there, and he's got a lot of new skins. Oh, and then of course, speaking of skins, they now have vehicle skins that you can use.
It's cool.
In
Some
the,
of the funniest
in the battle
kills
pass, yeah.
I've seen in Warzone are vehicle kills.
Oh,
So
they're
why not
hilarious.
have vehicle
Yeah,
skins?
they're hilarious. Overall, I think it was a really good patch for Call of Duty. About 13 gigs on the Xbox.
Yeah.
So pretty cool.
Speaking of patches, or speaking of season 3s,
Another
Vigor
yeah.
got season 3, and it's a big one. Can I talk about this one?
Yes.
Is this okay? This is just my cup of tea. I'm really in love with Vigor at the moment. I'm actually 100% addicted to it.
You're addicted.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Vigor season 3. Every season so far in Vigor they've improved, and I think this one is an improvement. There is a UI choice that I don't like that they did that I bet you doesn't exist towards the end. What they did was they brought up an info screen whenever you loot. Have you noticed that, Jordan?
Yeah, with your weapons.
Yeah, and it's stupid. Like, you don't need it in there. It
I don't
kinda
even look at it.
It gets in the way. So I think that'll be removed. But overall, it is big time. They brought Deathmatch. Deathmatch is basically
Shootout.
a practice mode. It's called Shootout. It's you against 8 other people. It's a 10-minute match. And you go and you start with a crappy gun, and you just pick up crates. In those crates are better guns, and it's just all kills. There are no stats kept because it is just practice mode. It is the best way to practice the game. It instantly takes your gunplay up a
Yeah.
notch because you get into, let's say, 50 gunfights in a 10-minute period. It might be less, might be more, but let's just say 50. That would take you hours and hours of play in encounters
Yeah.
to do. So
What's interesting
it's
about
like the driving range.
What's interesting about the shootout mode is I've heard it called seasonal, and I've heard they keep calling it an event. So I wonder if every season they're going to switch out that
bet you
mode
they'll do
with
a-
something different. You know
No,
what
I
I mean?
bet you it'll be a new map
A new map on shootout.
on Shootout.
Okay, well I don't know if it's permanent. They keep calling it an event.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Which
yeah, that is
means-
interesting.
yeah, so.
Well, and I think Shootout is permanent. I think this was a good move on the.
I do
in
too.
the
It's
game.
a good break,
They did add some new guns as well in season 3. They added the MP5,
which
is
is
a
ridiculous,
powerhouse.
and
It
it's
is-
silenced.
Ooh, and that just doesn't kick. There's no kick. It's beautiful. They added a couple pistols.
The PSS, we
Yeah.
call it the PSS, and then the SVU,
And the SVU, which is a
all
sniper.
silenced.
All silenced. All
Yeah.
silenced guns. This is the best. With this, you got a new battle pass as well. Their battle passes have kind of been subpar compared to other battle passes. Really nothing there that you want. However, in season 3 there is. They finally have
Is-
they have really, really good gun skins that you actually want. They have really, really good what is like cosmetics.
Yep.
For instance, I purchased a
hat.
A hat. I've never purchased anything. in
Big
their
old
store
red
at all.
hat. Yeah.
It's a red sombrero.
Sombrero.
It's actually not a sombrero. It's
It's like an Indiana
Then
Jones.
never
hat.
mind. I
it's
take
an,
back
it's
my
an Indiana
nice.
Jones hat, but it's
Oh,
red.
nice. I like
Yeah.
Indiana Jones
It's
hat.
cool. Overall, I mean, just improvements. The game keeps improving. If you tried out Vigor and you've never been in a fedora, there we go. I've only been calling it that all week. It's a fedora.
You thought an Indiana Jones hat
No,
was
no,
a
it's not a fedora.
well, but that's what I've been referring to it as.
Oh, you've been calling it a
Yeah,
fedora?
I've been calling it my fedora.
Yeah, it's more of an Indiana Jones hat. I
Okay.
feel like, yeah.
Anyways,
Like a red one.
yeah, completely lost. Oh, anyways, if you've jumped into Vigor like at first and
So English is like a game of darts or horseshoes for you, right? You're as long as you
I
get
just like
close.
to- I like to use it
English
creatively.
words, yeah. So you're like,
creative.
it's a fedora, and your horseshoe just got really close. It's close
that
enough.
goes on your head.
Yeah, it goes. It's a thing that goes on your head.
Fedora, sombrero, Indiana Jones hat. They're all the same.
They're all hats.
They're all hats.
English is like a game of horseshoes with David.
This is the time to jump into Vigor if you've never tried it before. If you're halfway interested in it, it's continuously improving.
Yep.
I think it's really good. So go check that out.
It's fun.
We also got-
I think it's the best season yet.
You think so?
I do.
Yeah, I
I do.
agree.
I think it's the best season pass yet.
I
too.
agree. They just keep improving. They really ramped up their improvements between season 1 and 2. So it's going to be
And
interesting.
season 2
to
to
see.
3, yeah. Well, the cops and robbers is just such a fun theme.
The theme, yeah, that's
cops
basically
and
what
robbers,
it is.
right?
It's a
Yeah.
cops and robber theme, and it's really good. The
We
rivals-
do have to say the best skin in the game right now came in season 3, and it's the Magnum skin that says sheriff on it.
that one
one's
is cool.
Yeah, that one's
I've
cool.
actually only been using the Magnum so that I could get used, so that I could whip that out.
I've gotten a couple
in
good
my
shots with
matches.
the Magnum.
Excuse me while I whip
out
this out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
So-
it's good. Anyways, go check it out. That's Vigor. Apex had an update
Yep,
as well.
Apex had an update.
event. Now this is an event.
Apex has the new
The town takeover.
the old ways
Yes.
event, which is basically
The old father.
yeah, it's Bloodhounds event. There's a bunch of new skins and all that stuff. The event is you fight the dogs, right?
You fight the prowlers.
Prowlers is what they're
It's
called.
a
We're gonna call
PV
them the dogs.
PVE mode.
PvE event.
within the game. That when you beat all the prowlers, it's kind of waves of prowlers
Yeah.
that come at you. It gives you some of the best loot in the game.
Which is pretty cool.
It's really cool.
They did make a lot of adjustments, balance adjustments with weapons, with the Evo armor. We won't go into it now because it was quite a huge patch of all the balance changes. But they changed weapons. They changed the way sniper ammo
Yep.
works, how much you get, how much you can hold. They changed the way Evo armor works. It looks like they made it so you less damage, like you get less damage to upgrade now. It's not as much damage anymore. I don't know the exact numbers. We were looking at it yesterday. But anyway, a lot of big changes with it. A lot of new skins, the new event, a lot of balance changes, and permanently they've re-added duo mode.
Duo mode is permanent. Very
Yeah,
fun.
and it's
And
gonna
then
be
they're
permanent.
and you will be rotating between Kings Canyon and World's Edge from now on.
Yeah, and what is it, every 2 hours or something like that? It's or is it every? It's actually a shorter period of
Yeah,
time.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
it's
remember.
not like half the season like it was before. It's you're going to be rotating frequently.
Yeah, they're
right?
rotating frequently.
Which is cool. It keeps it fresh, right? And you're playing both maps, so and you don't fragment the community by having choosing. Yeah, that's
Multiple.
really good. Yeah, so
I like it. Apex again, just prepping for season 5 at this point. Also has improved every season. It's cool. The
yeah,
old
Apex
ways
has
is
some
really
good skins.
Yeah.
So, all right, and then we got Overwatch, which
Overwatch.
they announced their new hero Echo a while ago. She's the hero that can
And you
do-
guys, wait, okay. We have talked about how Echo is a powerhouse,
Uh-huh.
right? You guys like this or no?
I don't like that she's a DPS character, but I do think she's a fun character. I
Okay.
don't think Overwatch right now we need DPS characters. I think we need more supports and tanks.
Okay. Spicy, you like her or not?
She is fun though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find.
Well, I mean, it's
some
fun to be a
actual
god
gameplay.
in a game.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
God mode's always fun.
She can do chip damage. She can do burst damage. She's a shield breaker. She's a tank buster. She has high mobility. She does everything. She is literally every character.
And that's probably why they put her in to maybe balance things. I don't know.
Put her in to balance things. She's breaking balance. Just
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I agree. They should have made her more of a support or a tank or something. Just the reason being is we have
So many DPS.
six tanks, 6 supports, and what, like
50?
18 DPS
Yeah,
already?
Close.
Something like that. Some ridiculous number like that. So
in a time where if you're playing competitive, DPS queues are already huge to begin with, right?
correct. And that's the problem is no one will play DPS characters right now because it takes 10 minutes plus. I've sat there for 23 minutes one time to get a DPS match, which
Interesting.
I'm playing my Switch while I'm waiting for a game, Animal Crossing. But they make a DPS character in a time where DPS characters are unplayable if you have any form of a life whatsoever. You can't just sit there for 23 minutes waiting
Wait
for
to
a
get in a
game.
match. No, yeah.
Right?
It's
So-
ridiculous.
And it's
It's-
hard to get 6 people together. To,
Me and Jordan have talked about ways where they could fix it, but I don't know. I actually have a theory why they're doing it, how they're doing
You
it
think
now.
they're setting it up for season 2 or whatever, version 2, 2.0?
I think they're
Not season two,
trying.
but
So
Overwatch
Jordan,
2?
you can tell me if I'm wrong or not on this. I think they're trying to get used to bans. That's why they're doing what they're doing. So right
That's
now
interesting, yeah.
they change every week. they change character bands. Like they're choosing the bands. So right now you can't play as Symmetra. Is it Symmetra this week? They just choose characters you can't play as, right? So I think it might be Sigma. I don't know. You cannot play as those characters at all. There's 5 characters you can't play as, which I think is really stupid on how they're doing it. They're choosing it. You can't play it for a week. It's making people not enjoy the game like me when, for example, no, it's Zarya this week. Reaper is really strong because Reaper has less threats, right? And Reaper is a crazy character to deal with
You're
anyways.
taking away counters.
Yeah, and I think that hurts the integrity of the game and the fun of the game.
So why do you think they're doing it?
I think they're doing this as a getting players used to the ban idea. This is my hope. So it's my hope. Blizzard hasn't exactly been doing well with choices, although they did some really cool things with Hearthstone recently, but they have struggled in the past a lot in the last year or two. I think they're going, okay, get used to bans. My hope is they're going to set up a system like Heroes of the Storm or a League of Legends or anything like that where everyone goes to a lobby and the players choose the bans and they choose their characters out of all of them, right? On each side, kind of thing. That lets us have more power and enjoyable. Okay. Like, for example, in Heroes of the Storm, it'd be like, Varian. He's taken, so let me choose another dive DPS,
Sure.
And then I can do this or this or this. I think that...
So you think this is a setup?
If they do that along with choosing... Everyone's in the same pool, and they load into a lobby, and then you choose your role, DPS or tank or healer. Because right now, you have to choose beforehand 2 tanks. You have to choose whether you want to be a tank,
You queue as it.
a healer, or DPS. And that is why the DPS queue is so high. It's because everybody is trying to play as a DPS. Because those are the fun characters. Yeah, especially, look at what we're looking at now. This Echo character is ridiculously fun because you're so overpowered, right? So if they just have a pool of find a game, put them all in, and then from there... you choose what role you are, and then from there you choose your hero and you choose your bands. That's my hope that Blizzard is trying to get people used to that. That's the system what I would do to employ to force a 2-2-2 still, but instead of having DPS characters wait 2 hours to get a match,
And the way it works,
that sounds like it. That sounds reasonable.
That's my hope. Yeah.
Especially they're already doing it with other games.
yeah, the way it works in Heroes is it's random. Like sometimes I may be the one that chooses the band. So you still it's basically you have more of a chance to play DPS if you want, right? Because it's it's going to be a random you choose first. What do you want to play? And then everybody else has to play. So, but no, I like that. I think they should take you to a lobby. You choose your role in the order.
That's the first choice. That's when everybody's preparing match,
and it'll randomly maybe Mark chooses first one round, and I choose first the next round, and he chooses last the round after that, right? So it's random, right? So you'll eventually at some point get to play what you want. I think it's more fair that way.
On another,
and then
sorry, Jordan. I didn't mean. I thought you were done.
He was in the middle of a sentence. He was right in the middle. And on another note, Jordan, shut up.
No, I like that. Going to a lobby, picking your role, and then picking your bands. I don't think you need to pick your heroes in the lobby, I guess, because you can change heroes within the game anyway.
No, you can't on competitive. Oh yeah, no, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
You're
you
right.
can
You're,
change-
yeah,
you
yeah.
can
Oh, I
change
get what
it.
you're
So,
saying.
like,
I
for
get what you're
example,
saying.
if I because
so you choose your role. Everyone has a chance to choose in order. I want to be a DPS. I want to be a tank. I want to be a support.
and that's how you keep the 2-2-2, like you said, and you don't have to show picking characters because if you pick Reaper, the other team will go, oh well, he's Reaper, I'll pick this guy. You know what I mean? And then you'll end up changing anyway, right?
Yeah.
So, but then after that, you pick your bands, and you can do your bands however you want. One from each category, and again, randomly chooses who bans what.
It would totally fix everything.
I think so.
I have a question for both of you.
Yeah.
Valorant is making splashes. We talked a little bit about this last week. Jordan, you've actually, in preparation for Valorant, have jumped into CSGO.
Yeah, I've been playing CS. I played it forever ago, and then I said, hey, let's play it again because Valorant's cool.
And Spicy, you have said in the past, you said this last week as well, Overwatch took some of the CSGO crowd.
I would say it took the
CSGO crowd, and Valorant
It's going to take
looks
it back.
like it's taking it back or making an attempt to take it back. What is Overwatch going to be doing enough in your mind to beat back that the oncoming Valorant competition? Because Valorant is funner to watch. It's easier to understand when you watch as well, right? Like if you're not into Overwatch from an esports standpoint, it's a hard learning curve from a viewer standpoint. I mean,
but everybody knows plant the bomb.
Everybody.
It's easy
understands.
to easy to
What
grasp.
you don't understand necessarily is what powers people have in Valorant. But even then, you understand the objective they're going for. It's less cluttery because there's less players on the map. It's a better
the abilities
viewing experience
are
for
less
a noob.
flamboyant than like an Overwatch.
Yeah,
for
correct.
Sure. Yeah, I got
Do you think Overwatch is going to be able to withstand that competition, or do you think Valorant is the new kid on the block? It's just they just need to get out of beta.
Yeah.
You think that?
Yeah, I think so. You're still gonna have your diehard fans like me. I'm just still gonna play this Overwatch game a lot, but it's gonna take a lot of the Overwatch players back.
I mean, it is really fun to watch. That is, and I'm not a CS:GO guy or a huge Overwatch guy, right? You know what I mean? So it is fun to watch. That's and I know a game needs to be more than that, but you have Riot behind them who knows how to do esports. This is clearly an esport game. And it looks good.
It looks
like
really
we're
fun.
watching gameplay right now. That Echo turned into Reinhardt and had 2 slams available to her.
She's hard. But the original news story, Echo, is going to be available to everybody in the live game on April 14th. So just next week here. But yeah, she's going to be coming out of PTR into the live game on all platforms April 14th.
Nice.
So everyone that plays competitive, expect not to play her for at least 40 minutes if you're waiting.
Yeah.
Or in like 3 months when it dies down. Yeah.
And then this weekend, free play days. I guess this is more for the people that are watching live. But free play days, they go till Sunday, April 12th. It's Override, Mech City Brawl, Hitman, the complete first season, which is a good one, so you play for free. And then Elder Scrolls Online again, and Gears 5.
I was watching some Elder Scrolls online.
Yeah, I think they're letting a lot of people get a taste before they release their new expansion.
I was watching it.
Which is
fun.
very cool. And then last but most certainly not least, we have the new Sea of Thieves update that's coming out later this month. This is the April update, which is called Ships of Fortune.
Oh, yeah.
Which, a lot of cool stuff. So
You've been playing some Sea of Thieves, too.
Yeah, I think I try and play like once a week or something like that. Yeah, but anyway, on the PvE side, the adventure mode, they're making some fun changes. Basically, what you're doing is the factions that you have, like the gold hoarders and the merchants and stuff. You can basically align yourself with one of those factions and do different quests for them and stuff like that, and get different reputation. And they did say in the video that it sounds like they're revamping the rep system. In their trailer, they mentioned our newly revamped rep system, which they haven't really talked more about.
Sure.
But it sounds like they're changing it up a little bit, which will be cool. Then, sorry, go ahead.
No, continue.
And then a big feature is they're changing deaths. When a player dies, your friend has a brief opportunity to revive him. So when you die, you're not just going straight to the ferryman. I think you can hold button if you want to skip your death, but you do have an opportunity to
I like that.
revived.
I think that will make sea ship battles, it can make it better. More of a cooperative thing instead of just lone wolfing it.
They're adding a bunch of new cosmetics, which there's a lot of cool ones that they'll add. And then, of course, they're adding cats as the new animal that you can buy. And then jumping over to the PvP side, they're actually completely changing it, which I think they're changing it for the better. So how it works right now is you get maps, there's chests on islands, you go to the islands, and then you get the chest, or you dig them up, and then you take them to the place to turn in. How it's working, and then they have 24-minute matches, right? And in 24 minutes, you try to get the most points, and you go from there. How they're doing it now, if you're familiar with Reaper chests in the adventure mode, it's basically a chest that spawns, and it has a huge pillar of light on it, so everybody on the map can see it. And even if you pick it up, there's a symbol on your boat on the map, so you're being tracked. Like, people can come, that guy's got a Reaper chest, let's go get him, right? Yeah. So anyway, what they're doing in PvP is they're getting rid of all the maps and all the turn-in points. There's going to be one turn-in point, and there's going to be one chest on the map, and that chest is going to emit light, and everybody's just going to have to go to that. So basically,
that's
it's
cool.
encouraging fighting which is PvP.
Yeah.
And then they've reduced the time from 24 minutes to 15 minutes. So it's 15-minute matches, one chest up at a time, one turn-in spot. So basically, if you want, I mean, you could camp the turn-in spot because there's only one of them. But basically, it's gonna be all fighting all the time.
That is
right?
good.
So
that sounds like a good
so that's
improvement.
the new.
What game do you think is Sea of Thieves competition? It's kind of in a league of its own. Ark maybe isn't its and is it not really? Because
No,
Ark
because
is more
Ark is its own
rusty.
thing. Same with the ship one.
So for instance, we had Skull and Bones that
But
we
see,
don't know
that's-
what's
that's-
happening
That's
there.
not the same
It's not
genre.
That's different.
No,
That
it's
was-
just because
yeah.
it's pirate ships, right? What's the MAGA?
Yeah, that one. That
Atlas?
one's Ark, just
Atlas, which
with
is
water.
which is coming to.
But see, I don't
console.
think that's.
But that's not even what
That's a competitor to
Minecraft.
Rust.
Minecraft is, but not even that. It's,
Yeah, no, it's kind of its own thing.
genre almost.
it's its own style of game.
It's
right?
done a good job of. I think it's one of the best supported games. I think the other game that is super cool. In fact, can we pull up this trailer right
Yeah,
here?
I'll pull it up.
Just type in No Man's Sky mechs. No Man's Sky went Titanfall on us and had an update this week and brought in mechs right there. And
Hey,
whoa,
why not?
because why not? No Man's Sky is also with like Sea. I think this game is probably closer to a Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, I could see that because it's basically the same idea. You know, just in space,
but
go
look
collect
at the
things, turn in.
mechs,
Yeah.
dude. That's so cool. So they had an update this week where they added mechs. This is a game that I always am just this close to jumping into, but it's just I just look at that. That's
Yeah.
so cool. And then
I'd like to see the police robots take that thing on.
I know. So what's the point of this thing?
Why not?
You're right.
you're
You're right.
in space on a world. You can. I bet you can harvest faster.
Yeah.
You can fight more because I bet you there's different mechs probably have different abilities. I
Because it
don't know.
looks
I've
like
not
he
looked-
walks slower than you walk. You know. Okay,
Right
that's
there,
cooler.
right
Okay,
there, right
he's
there.
got weapons.
The Goliath
It's
laser
for
beam.
harvesting.
Oh, screw walking when you can fire leap.
Okay, I get it.
But then
Oh,
look,
it looks
and look,
like-
there's different types of titans. That,
now
or
I
mechs
get the
that come
point of
in.
this.
Looks very cool. But that's another look. And there's a Star Wars mech that they stole.
Yeah, there's
Right
an
there,
AT-AT.
an AT-AT.
That's an ATST. Yeah.
yeah.
Ah, no kidding.
Anyway, so this game is kind of like Sea of Thieves, but I think these two games, No Man's Sky and Sea of Thieves, are some of the two best supported games. Both games that came out with criticisms, launched with criticisms. No Man's Sky's criticisms were much harsher, I think, because of the hype that was there that didn't exist with Sea of Thieves necessarily, but have just, I mean, if you look from day one, Sea of Thieves to today, completely different game. Same with No Man's Sky. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's very
It's
cool.
also a little bit intimidating.
What? The
'Cause
mech suit?
I go into Sea of Thieves and I don't know what to do now.
There's a
so
lot.
much-
Yeah, there's a
so
lot more
much
to do than there was on day one. Same with No Man's Sky, right?
Yeah,
Man, every time I see this game, I want to play it.
that's exactly
know
how
what I
I
mean?
feel. I see it and I'm like, oh, I want to get into it, but then
Well, and it's multiplayer, which is fun, and
it's
the multiplayer is real better multiplayer
than it
as
was
opposed
before.
to the other
The
multiplayer that we
faux
had.
multiplayer.
Yeah.
It's fake multiplayer.
Like your buildings are actually there
Yeah,
and will
look at
stay
there's
there.
multiple buildings and multiple mechs.
Yeah, I want a mech to harvest stuff.
Dude, I just want a mech, right? Like
oh
that's
man, that's
Yeah, it's
maybe
awesome.
Sea of Thieves will bring mechs.
Hey,
Pirate
pirate
mechs.
mechs. That'd be cool.
That brings us
Pirate mechs.
yeah, pirate mechs.
Your ship like
Parrot,
turns
like
into
a giant parrot.
Yeah.
That brings us to the next segment of the show. This is the question segment. The segment where we take your questions. To submit a question, you can do so each and every single week over on Patreon, patreon.com/positive gamer, positive gaming, or XoneBros.com/support. Our first question comes in from AOG Wardog. He says, "Hey bros, hope everyone is well. Question for you guys. I've been a huge Wolfenstein fan for a while, and I'm fixing to start Youngblood. What are your thoughts on the game if you guys have played it yet? And what is your thoughts on the overall series/story since Old Blood and New Order released and followed by the new Colossus? Again, hope you guys have been doing swell and keep doing what you're doing. Love." Wolfenstein 1 had one of the coolest endings. Wolfenstein 2 is one of the coolest beginnings.
Yeah.
It's very intense. Youngbloods is still good.
We played it co-op.
It's
you and I,
good,
yeah.
but it doesn't have that.
I think Youngbloods is cool and fun that it's co-op, but it does not have the same story nor the same atmosphere as the previous two Wolfenstein
It's still worth
games.
playing, I think.
I think it's only like $30 too.
Yeah,
right?
it's
So
still worth
not,
playing,
it's not,
particularly if you can play with someone, because that's kind of the point of
It's kind of the point.
it's kind of the point of the
Yeah.
co-op. But Wolfenstein 1 and 2, if you really like those games, prepare to be a little bit disappointed with
I
Colossus.
would
I mean,
say-
with Youngbloods.
I would say, I mean,
They have cool characters.
They're
that they set up.
definitely superior.
Yeah.
I'm debating on whether I say far superior or not.
I don't think they're. I think the story is far superior.
When the atmosphere,
But
too,
then again,
like it just-
I really like the bad guy that they have in Youngblood is really good.
But see, even then,
the characters are pretty strong, but it's missing
the old
like,
lady in Wolfenstein, and then
It's-
her daughter. Oh,
it's
that was
m-
so like it's just they have it's
missing
Yeah.
the nuts.
The nuts.
Like it's like a bull, like it's a bull with no nuts.
But it's still a bull.
Yeah, but just the anger's not there, right? Like that is Youngblood.
That's funny.
I don't know how else to describe it, but
No,
like,
it does
the
feel like it's
gravitas.
it
Like
does-
that's what it's missing. That's what
it
I
does
mean.
feel like it's missing because really
It does feel like it's missing nuts.
it is
Has
missing
no
something.
penis.
Oh, so it's missing nuts and the penis. Whoa, man.
No, but really, it just doesn't have.
Well,
that.
because they tie it into the story. You play as Blasewick's daughters, right? Which they're still
And
good
they're cool.
characters and
They're
stuff.
cool
Yeah, they're still
characters. They did a good
and
job
one
with the
that
characters.
it's cool because you get to see like Blasewick's wife and him. It's cool, but like I said, it doesn't have
The nut
as-
factor.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the nut factor.
It doesn't have as good a story.
It doesn't have
or
the grit and the shock factor.
And I
Like
think
the
that's-
one
I
and
think
two, you're
that's-
like, whoa, that just happened.
I think that's the atmosphere. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't have the atmosphere of, especially Wolfenstein 2, the new order with I'm telling you, the old lady and her daughter.
So
Are the funniest,
everyone's making jokes in chat about BJ because that's his name.
yeah, BJ
But
Blazkowicz.
double entendre.
It doesn't have the
Anyways, great question. I hope
if
I
it's
don't
it's cool that's how I can describe it. It's cool that it's co-op, but it doesn't have the story or the atmosphere.
what
that
it
the other
is.
two do.
It's not a standalone game. It feels like a DLC add-on
And I
to these other two canon games, right? Like I would not consider this game canon like I consider 1 and 2. That's how it feels. It feels
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it feels like here's 1, here's 2, here's this offshoot DLC, and we're gonna get another full Wolfenstein game
later, yeah.
3, right? Like that's how it feels.
Yeah, it's I don't know what the price is now, but it like it was $30, right? So it's not like anyway.
Bring back the nuts.
That's actually like a good way to like it just
Nut
doesn't
factor.
have the
Like-
nuts.
Like Doom Eternal has
Doom Eternal.
a serious nut factor in there.
It has 4.
Giant.
Yeah.
I mean, when you start it and I felt like I was in like
That game
He-Man.
has nuts.
Yeah, I'm in a floating fortress in the sky or something.
just
And
to be
he's-
there.
Yeah, just
But see,
just
that's how 1 of Wolfenstein and 2 start. Remember 1, you go through this prologue. It's kind of a standard wartime prologue, and then you go up the castle. Remember, boom, the bass kicks in.
do 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 do.
And
you're like,
same-
ugh.
And then
Same
the
with
hard
2.
rock, like it's just like, oh man, let's do this.
Same with 2.
There's so much testosterone in that game.
dude.
It just
Doom
fuels you.
Eternal amps it up.
Doom Eternal.
Doom
yeah.
Eternal is another great game.
Just
If you
hold-
haven't bought
hold
Doom
my
Eternal
beer.
yet,
And then-
buy Doom Eternal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fitzy writes in and asks, got a double question for you guys. First, when you started doing this, did you guys think it would be this big and have the community you do, or has everything surpassed what you ever imagined the X1Bros brand would be? Secondly, throughout all the episodes, what would you say is your favorite episode or memory from an episode? Keep it up, guys, and can't wait for another meetup, as every time is amazing and a great memory for me, Fitzy. Thank you very much. So, let's have Spicy answer the first question.
My most memorable stuff?
No, did you guys think this
Oh,
that it
yeah,
would be
yeah,
this
that
big
was
and you'd have the
question
community
one.
would be?
No.
It really was just for fun.
No, it's actually really cool. For those that listen and don't join Discord and stuff, our community is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We have some of the greatest, most positive, just have fun playing games. I'll play with you. What do you need? Kind of thing, and it's fantastic. Thinking that would appear when you're first starting is no. You don't think that
It was
gonna
us
exist.
talking to each other into mics
Yeah.
at first, and then putting it out there into the ether with zero expectation.
Yeah. Well, because what we wanted to do was just we had these conversations about gaming all the time.
Yeah, might as well.
Let's record it.
yeah, might
see
as
what
well,
happens.
Might as well just record it. Put a mic in front of us and have the same conversation.
Yeah. But no, it's been surreal. So it's really really cool to have the support that we have, to have the community that we have, to even be able to meet here and do this every week. This is something I look forward to all the time. And so to answer your question, no, I did not think that it would be as successful as it is so far.
Jordan, what would you say is your favorite episode or memory?
Well,
from an
I had
episode?
one, but I might have a new one.
Oh.
So obviously wheelchair basketball is up there.
Which is like episode 4 or 5.
Yeah,
So you have
that
to
was-
go, you have to
that
go
was-
deep.
Because when
No.
you say, David,
And that's a little like, you know,
That was another
inside
I was
joke
making an analogy,
about wheelchair basketball. And it,
a metaphor, if you will.
we should actually find
that
what
clip?
episode that's in. We
and-
have
and
the
get that.
we have the show streaming 24/7
Yeah.
on our Mixer
Yeah,
channel.
we can just grab it.
We
Find it.
gotta find it.
There's
because-
probably some people who really know those old shows really well because people were telling me about it the other day. I was like, I don't even remember.
But anyway,
this.
it was
there's so many things I don't remember what we said.
It was basically an analogy. David was trying to make an analogy, and he used wheelchair basketball, and it was
like-
pretty funny.
you know,
I mean, it was
you know
like,
what
it was
it's
kinda
like? It's like wheelchair basketball.
and we're just kind of like, what?
You see all our faces when you watch the video. You see all our faces, and we just slowly start squinting our eyes and tilting our heads, going, "Where's
Then
it
you,
going
like-
with this?"
You like keep going
Yeah,
with it.
it's really-
It's
we
funny.
talk
It
about
was good.
that moment all the time.
Obviously, going to E3 and stuff has been really cool. Those are all good memories.
Is your new one nuts?
yeah, my new one, games having nuts. That's just
Yeah,
that's,
the nut factor.
that's a good analogy.
The
Yeah,
nut
that's
factor,
like,
okay.
like my new favorite one is it's just missing its nuts.
just missing its ball sack.
yeah. But I think I think the favorite memory, the bowling at E3
That was
meetup,
fun.
that was a good time.
That was way fun.
That was really good
I
time.
believe Spicy injured Fitzy's is the cause of Fitzy's injured shoulder.
I think he might have had issues prior, but
Definitely
me and
ruptured
Fitzy,
it.
Me and Fitzy, what we were doing, we were obviously losing in bowling. And this bowling alley clocked the speed of the ball.
Yeah.
And so we started not caring. We were just trying to throw the ball as hard as we got.
you could.
And we're like 22 miles per hour. Oh! And then we'd get a 22.3. Oh! That was really fun.
Yeah.
And I think he had to have surgery on his shoulder.
yeah.
My bad. Sorry, dude.
He went for the win.
He went. I think
And
he
he
won.
won.
I think he won.
He won.
He put it all on the floor.
Worth it? I think so.
Yeah. Talk about nut factor.
That night had nuts.
He laid it out. Great question, Fitzy.
He
Thank
flexed his nuts.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you
one,
very
yeah.
much for writing in. Next question comes from Brenton Ryan, who has a comment. He has an opinion on the expandable storage slots coming in the Xbox Series
Oh yes, they talked
X.
about that in the Inside Xbox.
Yeah, so let's read Brendan's opinion, and then Jordan, why don't you talk about it a little bit, and we'll just discuss the proprietary hardware that we're gonna have to purchase. He says Xbox Series X Seagate expandable storage slots. He says, "Are you kidding me? Limited to 1 terabyte. Tell me they're gonna offer higher capacity cards in the future, since you won't get Series X benefits in games when running them from normal USB storage. Also, am I gonna have to shell out for the 1 terabyte card, and then in a year get the 4 terabyte, and then maybe an 8 terabyte a year later?" Let's discuss. This is kind of on the internet. Like, it's pretty mixed. Some people are okay with it. Some people aren't. I see both sides being okay. Like, yeah, I mean, why not? But at the same time, I hope they come out with all the size options up front, so that you're not like, well, we're only limited to 1, but in 6 months we'll have 8 terabytes, right? You know what I mean? So, Jordan, what did they discuss on Inside Xbox, and what is your thoughts?
So first, for those that don't know, just to explain the situation. So Xbox has a proprietary hard drive, right? It's basically an M2 hard drive. What it does is it has a direct path to the CPU, correct?
Yeah.
And what that does is basically it allows it to access games, first of all, quicker. It allows different options like, I don't know 100% but like you can render faster. You can do different in-game techniques because you have access to the hard drive
The
quicker.
bandwidth, the bandwidth. So current hard drive speeds without SSD is at 100 megs per second. So it's 0.1 compared to the numbers we're looking at. SSDs now, and these are like top of the line. SSDs right now, or just your standard SSD from Samsung or whatever, a good one is at 450, which is so 0.45 basically, right? These run at 2500 to 3500. So you see that jump in speed, and that's your read writes. So it's able to access a lot more data fast.
Yeah.
Tons faster than your standard spinning drive, like ridiculously faster.
And also, so the speed, and then having that direct path to the CPU, where your standard hard drive.
That's how it gets that speed, because it's
so
somebody along the line, like 5 years ago or 6 years ago or whatever, was like, well, we have RAM having a direct pathway to the CPU. Why not have a hard drive?
Yeah.
And then the world had this.
So in doing that, we can get different gameplay features and all this crazy stuff that developers can now do because they have access to that, right? So what they're saying here is an Xbox Series X game that wants to take full advantage of that is going to need that type of hard drive.
That speed,
yeah. You can't use your USB hard drives, and that's why they have a proprietary slot on the back so you can get this expandable storage, because obviously, I mean, you're talking about Call of Duty, which is 100 gigs a game, right? Or 100 gigs for that or whatever, right? So games are going to fill up quick, right? So basically, what I think is going to happen is they're only going to have the 1 terabyte for a while, and then as technology gets cheaper, they'll come out with higher capacities, right? Because think of hard drives now. I mean, or hard drives when the first thing came out. I mean, you can get terabytes really cheap now, whereas before, a few years ago, they weren't so cheap. You know what I mean? I think it's just the nature of technology, right?
This is just how life works, to be honest. I mean, if we look at the 360 originally, it only came out with 20 megs or 20 gigs. It was that thing that you slap on the side and you could pull it off and upgrade it, right, and slap it on again. Once hard drives became more accessible, more available, hard drive size increased. That's just the nature of this. This style of hard drive is different than your standard USB spinning drives, or even your. I mean, on that box, I have an SSD that goes into USB 3.1, I believe, is what's on that one. But that is limited to 450 megs because it's still going through the USB serial routing to how things work. The fact that this hard drive has a direct highway to the CPU is how you can get these speeds, and that you have to change some architecture with that.
Now, if you choose to just plug and play, which you'll be able to do, your current external hard drive.
You're not going to get the same features.
You don't get the same features, but the games you play all the time, you can just transfer to the internal hard drive.
Correct.
That being said, you can take your current terabyte hard drive or whatever you got. 10 terabytes for Mark, right? You take that and you plug it in. All your games are there. If you have an Xbox Series X game, that can be stored on the external drive. But when you're ready to play that one and want to utilize that features, or I mean,
basically,
maybe some games will only utilize those features, so you can store it on that drive, and then when you're ready to play it, it needs to jump over to the actual.
It jumps over,
and you'll need to move it, right?
And that's actually what I do currently. Is I have a 10 terabyte spinning drive USB, and when I start playing a game a lot, then I just transfer it over to the Xbox One X's standard drive
because it's a little bit faster,
it's 4 times as fast. Yeah. And people are making fun of, it's an expansion memory card. Well, technically, I guess it is, but
I'm actually excited for that.
I know. I remember throwing in the Nintendo 64 when you needed to play StarCraft faster than 7 frames per second.
Or you'd have your memory card cases that you'd write on them, and you bring them over to your friend's house and plug in your save.
These are hard drive. They're hard drives. They're built specifically for speed. And keep in mind that you do not need to buy this to still get extra hard drive space. You need to buy this if you want god tier speeds over 1 terabyte drives, right?
Yeah, because the standard box comes with 1 terabyte inside.
It comes with 1 terabyte. This is just to double the god tier speeds that we're talking about. The M.2 type speeds.
Sorry, go ahead.
You can still plug in a 10 terabyte hard drive and enjoy yourself with all your games. You'll just have loading screens.
Yeah, that's the difference. Do you want to experience the speed or not?
Oh, so I was going to say, but to answer his question, how he phrased it, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to come out with a 1 terabyte one, and then as things get cheaper to manufacture and cheaper to buy and more accessible, 6 months later, you'll maybe have a 5 terabyte one.
Sure.
I think that's exactly, because that's just how it happens.
That's how PCs are right now. I have 3 different style M.2 drives on that PC over there, and they're limited in size. I actually run a RAID. People are going to cringe when I say this that know what it is. I have a RAID 0 running a lot of. I have so many systems over there, but I have a RAID 0 with multiple drives on there to hold pure data. Like you have big drives, but when I work on projects, I throw them over to my small M.2 drives to run 4K and 8K footage when I'm video editing, right? Because those can't handle it like those can. But they're only available right now in small sizes because it's a newish technology.
It's very cool. Very cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good question.
For writing in, Brendan Ryan. Soulfinder writes in and asks, when you guys were kids, did you have friends come over to your house just to use you and play your games?
100%.
I think there was always kids.
I
like
had.
that.
Yeah, I have stories. I'll tell people after the show my stories.
Oh, okay. It's intense then.
Yeah, a lot of. Yeah, well, I had like 8 Xboxes at one point in my basement.
That is hilarious.
And everybody would come over.
That is
Everybody would
hilarious.
come. We would play. We'd play Rainbow Six.
Oh,
LAN Rainbow
I
Six,
like it.
and that was fun.
that is fun.
Yeah,
Sticks
good
Remix
times.
writes in, great question, Soulfinder. Sticks Remix writes in and says, hey, bros, it can be a dark and or depressing time during right now COVID-19 as people struggle with the emotional toll of staying at home and not seeing friends/family or dealing with financial insecurity. I understand if this might be too personal of a question, but can you guys share any specific times in your own lives where gaming was a source of encouragement and helped you get through a rough patch? A few years ago when my daughter was born, 4 weeks early, I struggled heavily under the weight of a lot of emotions and new responsibilities. I was a new dad and had to deal with a lot of postnatal paternal depression. This involved many nights of staying up till 2 a.m. to make sure my daughter was gaining weight and eating at the right intervals. I'm not sure how I would have survived through that time period if it wasn't for gaming. Thanks again for the podcast and all you guys do. I mean, I definitely use it as an escape when I'm stressed. Like, I will just jump in and
It's an escape from the world.
escape from the stress. So I tend to lean towards games that aren't as stressful during those times. Like a Minecraft is a game built for just leaving your stress behind. Single-player games like a Red Dead Redemption, large ones, or even a Witcher 3 where you can just lose yourself in that world. Are there for me. So I don't have like a specific time. I just have times of incredible stress in which I use it to disconnect. How about you guys?
No, me and David had this conversation before the show. We even started today. Because David would forget. What were you forgetting?
My mouse that was right here.
He had
I was looking like right at it.
had a mouse in front of him and he was just forgetting. And I know exactly what that feeling is like.
Or like, Animal Crossing right now is one that like
That is relaxing.
really like just for fun. So sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. I forgot what I was saying now, but
we stress. Me and you.
yeah. Oh, and by the way, Sticks, this is a very personal thing you shared with us. So thank you very much for sharing with this. This is it's a serious thing. When I started working from home, it was a big change, and I joked about David when he started working from home that now you're going to see what it's like to slowly dive into the world of insanity. Just you get to watch your life slowly and your mind slowly go insane because you're not leaving the house, driving a car, going to somewhere else, doing other things, interacting like you used to. And it really is an interesting mind. It's just, it messes with you a lot. So, yes, gaming is absolutely a very therapeutic thing to do. I would also add that Netflix streaming service, just watching other shows to escape, is a very therapeutic thing to do. Reading. We were talking about before the show on our pre-show that you can access if you're a Patreon subscriber. We were talking about just how awesome books are, and we were talking about certain books that we were, things like that. And I use audiobooks a lot, to same thing to escape and stuff like that, because life gets stressful, especially when you have a lot of responsibilities like families and stuff like that. And just being able to play Animal Crossing, stuff like that, absolutely helps a ton. So yes, it's very, very cool thing to have in our lives.
Absolutely. Jordan, anything to add, take away?
No, I think you said it best. Gaming is a good way to escape the world.
Yeah, which is why I think when people start fighting over video games or in gaming, I think it's foolish. Like, why?
It's an odd thing, huh?
Yeah, I deal with that in my job a lot. People like fighting grown men fighting with important jobs, fighting over, hey, you stole that kill from me. Like, okay, guys, like, hey, you're not a pro gamer here.
Get it faster next time.
Just pull that trigger a little faster. Maybe you need to buy an elite controller.
Yeah.
Right?
Are you using the elite? No, that's why I stole your kill.
Yeah, like it's just, instead of stressing about it, enjoy it, man. Enjoy it. So, great question. And again, yeah, I agree. Thank you very much for sharing that Styx remix. I think a lot of people feel that way, and that's why it's such a great hobby to have. Fancy El Chapo writes in and says, what do you guys make of The Last of Us Part 2 delay? He says, I feel like an indefinite delay is a little more than a logistics delay. Also, the fact that Sony started to automatically refund digital pre-orders is a little bit odd. I feel like we may not see this game in 2020, and they may be pushing it to a PS5 launch title and only using the coronavirus as a scapegoat. What do you guys think? Can I give my opinion on this first?
Yeah.
I've been really keeping up with the PlayStation, Xbox Series X, and all the theories and stuff. I think it's looking more and more, it's becoming less and less of a rumor, and it's looking more and more real. Like Sony might have just messed up, and the heating issues and everything might be a thing. It might be real. And this is, Last of Us Part 2 is now delayed. Indefinitely.
That's never.
They showed this off 2 E3s ago?
Yeah, before the guy with the flute.
Yeah, before the guy with the flute. So 2 E3s ago. So this is not a game that just like, it was announced a few months ago. So a delay is okay.
The last game came out at the end of the last console cycle. So PlayStation 3.
Right at the tail end.
Right at the end. That's when the first one came out, which that was 5 years ago.
Yeah, and so maybe they don't have a game available that they're going to launch with the PS5 with.
And
so
they're using this
for it. I mean, if you think about it,
could
you don't need it for the PS4.
Nintendo did the same thing with Zelda. I mean, although it did still release on the Wii U, they waited
to release it.
But it's smart to do that.
Yeah.
But they got... I'd hate to be the developer. You want that game to... If it's ready, you want it to launch.
Yeah. Or, I mean, maybe
it is interesting. And maybe it's not, maybe it's all wrong, but just the more Microsoft is hitting the ground running. That's all. That's
did
all.
You
it
see?
Just doesn't feel the same with Sony right now. And hopefully they get their footing under them.
Did you see Sony release the controller though? Have you seen it?
I will say that
it is cool.
It is cool. What is interesting is every iteration gets more like the Xbox is the perfect controller. The Nintendo Pro is the exact same as the Xbox control. The Xbox controller is the best controller. Did you see a couple of polls? So Kind of Funny released a poll. IGN released the poll saying, "Would you to PS4 fans? Hey, do you want so it's the same controller, but your
offset?
sticks are still right there.
Yeah.
You want them offset?" It was like 99% said yes.
Offset,
That's a thing. It is what holds me back on the PlayStation 5 controller. It does look nice, the new one.
Yeah, have you?
But sorry, the PlayStation 4 controller. And
the
new the 4 controller, the DualShock controller, is the best of the PlayStation. But those offset thumbsticks are superior.
DualSense is the name of the new controller.
It just fits when you the way you hold it down with those leveled thumbsticks.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. I like the double
look.
color design. So if for those of you that are not live aren't really going to be able to see it, but basically it's white on the grips and then black on the center of the controller. It's a really cool look. I think the biggest change that a lot of people will notice is the light bar is no longer straight across the top like it was. It's actually just a very thin light bar down the sides. Or light bar down the sides. I think the reason they did that is because I believe the light bar sucked the life out of the battery.
See, all you have to do is swap your D-pad and your... But the argument, I guess, there would be maybe you're utilizing more games with your D-pad, but I don't think you are. And
I'm bilingual. I can do them both,
but you have a native language.
I personally do prefer the offset.
When there's a tournament that requires controllers or is using controllers, how many pro players come with their PS4 controller? Answer, 0.
I think they all come with custom controllers, to be honest.
And all those custom control, like the number one custom selling controller on the PlayStation 4 is a controller with offset dual sticks.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. I do like PlayStation's 4's D-pad though. I like that a lot. Just the 4 individual buttons.
I like this controller. I think this is a.
No, I think it's a really cool, I think it's actually a cool design.
Yeah.
I think it's a kind of a step forward from the current, because the PlayStation 4 design was very nice because it felt more comfortable. I'm gonna say it. I don't think any of the DualShock controllers really felt all that comfortable. And you didn't know.
I agree
that it was uncomfortable because you had the PlayStation 1 and then the PlayStation 2, and then you felt
the heft.
then you got good controllers like the Xbox controller.
Well,
right?
the first good one I would say was the Nintendo 64, even though it looked weird.
Well, it was ergonomic.
Yeah.
That was the one that was
And I'm not
coming from Nintendo, because the NES controller, I think I still have arthritis issues because of that controller.
And then the controller that I think started the modern day game controller is the GameCube controller. Mm-hmm. The Smash. Everybody uses it for Smash now. That is one of the best controllers of all time.
It's got the C stick,
and that brought
basically like it's similar to the Xbox controller.
It's like if you took the 64 and the Xbox controller and merged them.
Yeah. But no, I really like this design. I think it's actually a cool design. So I like the dual colors. It's really now this is interesting. I was watching. I think IGN had a story about it. They think the console is going to be white.
I mean that makes sense.
Which it just talks about.
I've been waiting for that for a long time.
Well, they just been talking about it because if you go back to the 360 days, the 360 was white and the PS3 was black, right?
Yeah.
And then this generation they both went black, so they think they're going to change up. They think the console may be white, but I mean, what's interesting is they haven't showed the console yet. I think this next generation is going to be fascinating because I think both companies are getting away from their usual designs. Like if you take the Xbox, I mean, we're getting a tower instead of a, you know what I mean? Sony's new controller, I mean, this is obviously different from what they've done before.
This is drastically different.
even going just to the PlayStation 4 controller, right?
Which is the best of the PlayStations.
Yeah. This I mean, I think it's fascinating that they're I don't know if you want to say getting out of their comfort zone, but just doing different stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, what's cool about this controller, since we're talking about it, it does have all the features. It does have the impulse triggers and stuff now. It's basically, it has a lot of the features that the Xbox One controller has had for a while, which I'm going to say Xbox and third-party developers, I feel like the impulse controller or the impulse triggers are the most underutilized.
I use it all the time.
No, you're talking about the triggers.
Yeah.
Hairline
triggers.
The hairline stuff.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the impulse, the vibrations in them.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
so I think Forza uses it. I don't know of any other game because like Forza, when you like pull it down and slam on the brakes, there is a different vibration. It's something little, right? But it's cool.
It's the Ice Cube effect of the Switch.
Same with the
That's
Switch.
Joy-Con.
There's only one game that uses that those HD rumbles, right? I mean, if you're gonna put these in there,
Utilize them, people.
Yeah.
Utilize them. Anyways, great question. Fancy El Chapo. Thank you very much. Last question comes from Quick Trigger. He says, what's up, fellow overachievers? Do you think that we'll have a truly immersive holodeck experience in our lifetime? He says, the 3D stuff we have now just doesn't do it for me. With the leaps and bounds gaming is making, do you see it in our lifetime? Yes, I do. And I see it for very specific games. But we already have the HoloLens, and they're demoing Minecraft that comes out of your table and stuff like that. So I think eventually we'll get there. I think for a Hearthstone, you could do it fairly easy.
So, I mean, are we talking about the holodeck from the Enterprise from Star Trek? Because
Ready
we're
Player
missing
One.
some pretty significant technology. We need to have this is going to make me sound like the biggest nerd, and I bet Blake is Barbara Blake in our community is going to love this. The relationship between energy and matter. Okay, that's how they have their food. They're able to turn all that power from the engine of the Enterprise, and how they actually, how even the beaming from one planet to the ship and everything, how the holodeck works. They use energy, and there's a relationship between energy and matter, and that's how they can do that. That's how the holodeck works. It uses energy to make matter. We're missing that technology.
maybe more of a Ready Player One.
So you're just talking about lay down and Sword Art Online it.
Or you can get the full haptic suit.
That's true.
Ooh.
Because
I get kicked in the nuts. Since that's kind of been the theme of the show.
Yeah.
It happens in Ready Player One. I don't know if you
It
guys.
does.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah,
And
they
it hurts.
put sensors down there for
Yeah,
some reason.
It hurts.
No, I mean, maybe we get to Sword Art Online status where we all just
So wait,
Where we dive?
yeah, we dive in.
Is a holodeck?
Have you never watched
Is a holodeck Ready Player One immersion, or is it like?
Ready Player One
Or
is
it
more like
I was thinking it's like games that are 3D in front of you.
So the holodeck is a room on the Enterprise or any Starfleet ship.
Okay.
You
I
walk
don't know
in.
Star Trek.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You walk in. You say, "I want to play Sherlock Holmes."
Okay.
And then all around you, everything becomes real life,
What is the game?
and you become Sherlock
What is
Holmes.
the game that they're playing on the Millennium Falcon? The chess game.
That's,
I mean, is that a
that's
holodeck?
3D chess?
Oh, it's
That's
not a holodeck.
that's not. That's
oh,
just,
that's what I
that's
was
just
thinking.
light.
That's what I was thinking it was.
No, the
'Cause I was
holodeck.
like, oh, yeah, we get there.
Okay, there is an episode on Star Trek where somebody they program the holodeck to defeat Data, and it creates like this mastermind evil person that can take over the ship and stuff like that, right? But it is the relationship between matter and energy, and what it does is it if this room was the holodeck, and they turn it on and everything, it would be real life. Like you could walk around in the world and
In a
everything.
planet in No Man's
Worf
Sky.
uses it as training with real combat, and you can take off safety features and actually die in there. That's the holodeck
okay.
status.
The
so,
Star Wars things is checkers to the holodeck. Okay, I see.
So to answer depends on if you're talking that style holodeck. We need to make more improvements in energy.
Oh, quick
Maybe-
trigger.
maybe,
You've opened my whole new world here. I don't know these things.
Maybe Elon Musk will get us there.
yeah. I'm thinking more like, do you think we can get to more of a Sword Art Online where we dive, or
With
Ready
VR,
Player One?
where we lay on a bed our brain.
But your
senses
yeah. They
thing.
call it diving.
Diving?
They dive
Yeah.
in.
You dive in, yeah.
Or are you Neo? The thing?
And there's
the
full
Matrix, baby.
there's full dives,
Yeah.
come season 2, like
Okay.
he's like, I prefer a full dive.
We could see if we go that route, then we've hit neuroscience to the next level, where we can actually
Do you
manipulate
think-
brainwaves.
Now,
That's
here
where
we
you
go,
don't
here we
need
go.
technology as
Do
much
you
as you need
think-
to know neuroscience.
So we all know the basic premise of Sword Art Online, right?
Yeah.
You put on a nerve gear, which anyway, it makes the game real life,
You
right?
go into a coma, but you're playing the game in your mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think the world would allow that
Oh
to
yeah.
the public?
Oh yeah.
Because if
In
they
South
don't,
Korea, yes.
if they don't, I'm creating my own country.
Oh yeah. Well, you could you imagine being able to create your own. You would in your
because,
brain.
for example,
In your own holodeck.
Look what happened in Sword Art Online.
It's true.
But that was, the creator. The creator kind of screwed everyone up. He's just like, I want everyone to die.
Yeah.
That was his motivation.
My question is body functions. Like
And at the end, they
your
were all
body,
like,
your body still has fluid function.
Well,
that needs
yeah,
to
like-
Catheters.
well,
Built into the suit?
in Sword Art Online, like they still felt like, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I need to pee. I need to.
Yeah, but if you need to pee and you pee in the game world, you pee your pants.
Well, no, I don't think there's a peeing mechanic in the game.
Seems like there's a giant loop. There's some Japanese. You know that there's some Japanese games that will
no,
have
there
a pee
is.
mechanic.
There is, and they're hilarious. But like they taught like at the end of episode 1 of Sword Art Online,
He
his
gets up and
stomach
he has to go to the bathroom?
his stomach rumbles. He goes, "Oh, I've been on for so long. I gotta get something to eat." Then of course they find out they can't log in or log out.
Because if your brain is fooled, it's like a dream. Like when you're like, I have to pee in my dream.
Sword Art
Yes,
Online,
it's very dangerous.
No, I want you to
Wake
think
up. Yeah.
a full dive is very similar to jacking in on the Matrix.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's a full dive.
Yeah. It's similar concept. Their brain is in the world, but their body can still. I don't know.
But
maybe
see, you've
no.
gotta
Matrix
set
is
up
a
a
little.
catheter like
see,
it'd be a
the
built-in
Matrix.
That's what
catheter.
you'd have
Yeah.
to do.
The
They
Matrix
would-
is a little bit different, I guess. It's similar, but
They'd
it's
make a
different.
container that lets your body flush itself
They
out.
would-
Maybe keeps you clean.
They sell
washes
it as
you.
a.
They would
as
simplify
a,
the catheter.
as a bundle.
And
As a bundled console.
with an IV stuck into you so you could play for a really long
Yeah.
time.
Oh, that would be funny.
What would streaming be like in that world? Like a GoPro? You'd be watching from a GoPro
Actually,
point of view?
in Sword Art Online, they have full-time streamers.
And what you're watching, but who does the camera? So if I was the full-time streamer in Sword Art Online, would Spicy's job to be joining me with a camera in game?
I think they had like robot cameras that follow.
Yeah.
Oh, robot cameras programmed into
I mean, you're thinking
Smart.
at this point,
Because
technology
it's
really
software.
smart.
doesn't. At this point, technology really doesn't have a limit.
So everybody's their own Truman Show.
Basically, yeah.
I
I think it was Death Gun, which was season 2, when they basically had Twitch and Mixer on there. It was pretty funny.
Speaking of Truman Show, let's go on another tangent. I actually talked about this with my wife. I want to have conversations with people just randomly where I'm like, I grab a product and be like, This Kirkland signature purified water is fantastic. Like they do on the show.
Oh, that's just so funny.
Because
He's
it's
like,
ad placement.
Ad placement,
he's like,
just random people.
who are you talking to?
I'm right here.
That is hilarious.
No, but so back to the question.
Holodeck in our
If he's
lifetime.
talking Star Trek, I don't think we're at that energy technology yet. I believe we will get to the coma level, deep dive. Maybe not Matrix level.
Yeah, so the Matrix, the Matrix is a step further where your body, like if you die in the game or the Matrix, you actually die in real life.
Well, sort of.
The nerve gear. Well, I mean,
The
it
nerve gear.
was an accident. Like,
It was pretty deliberate.
It wasn't. Well, I mean, it wasn't an accident. It wasn't supposed to happen, right?
Yeah.
Nerve gear is
Then I would say Ready Player One. Yes, most definitely. I think when I get into an old folks home, I'm getting all that. I'm being Ready Player One. I'm gonna get the suit and everything, and my catheter and all of it.
dude. Yes.
Can you imagine though? Like, pretend Sword Art Online came out tomorrow, right? Like the game, and you're doing a full dive and you're going in. Can you imagine how weird that would feel? Because you're actually like, oh, here's my sword and here's the combo. Like, it's actually you playing.
Well, it wouldn't feel weird though because it would be you.
In the game, in the show, they actually talk about how it feels weird at first. You know what I mean? And he has to teach him how to play properly.
Well, because I guess each game would. So each game
he was a sword fighter already.
Yeah, so
He was a trained
he
sword
already
fighter,
knew how to use
and he
swords.
was a gamer, so he knew his stuff, and he played the beta.
You're right.
No
Yeah,
one else played the
he
beta.
was a beta tester.
because you jump into a world like
Became a beater.
a Call of Duty, right? So we jump into that. We use it using Call of Duty physics and feel, and then we jump into like a vigor, and we'd be all like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, the
Like,
end-
Yeah,
It's
because
weird.
each game would feel
each
different.
game
right?
would feel
And
completely different.
in the second half of season 1, when he went to the new game, Elfheim Online, he was like, "This feels weird," because you could fly and stuff,
Yeah.
and physics were different.
Oh yeah, but he did keep he did keep all his stats.
Yeah, he did. He kept his character thing.
It's a great show. Everyone
really
should
is.
watch
It's
Sword
funny.
Art Online. They say some funny things in that minus
There's
the creepy
some
parts.
of Sword Art Online. There's some of like the weirdest stuff I've ever seen in that show, but you just keep watching it.
You just keep going.
You're just like, wow, that's really odd. But I
Great,
can- yeah.
great question. Quick trigger. I didn't know that a holodeck was a Star Trek thing. So there you
No,
go.
yeah, it's
Here I
totally
am
like-
thinking it's just 3D chess.
I'm gonna give you a list of 5 episodes to watch. I think Star Trek is either on. I think it's on Hulu. Do you have Hulu?
Yeah, can I complain about Hulu?
Yeah, Hulu sucks.
Hulu
Their interface is
freaking
awful.
sucks. It has the worst UI. Like, I am not a UI specialist, and I can create a better UI. What are you guys thinking? I don't understand it. Also, why is Hulu the only service that I have to pay a fee to have advertisements for? I don't understand. Isn't that just
Removed.
called television? No, you still pay a fee. So, for instance, it's tiered. So there's this fee. Let's say what is it? $8.99, $7.99.
Uh-huh.
You still get commercials at that. I'm paying to use your service to have commercials,
Yes.
but Disney is the same, and I get no commercials. I don't understand it.
It's just their model they chose to do, and it's working because people still use Hulu.
But they're still giving me. I'm paying for the right. Isn't my paying for your service replacing supposed to replace advertising? It's what YouTube does. Like, I can have YouTube or I can have YouTube Red.
No, but they do that. They have a second tier that removes all advertising.
I think that's stupid. I think that's stupid. Just have one tier that removes.
They have.
advertising.
Well, see, think about it though. I mean, on their side, obviously it pisses me off too.
Sure.
But think about it on their perspective. They're making a convenience that didn't. They're making convenience where convenience didn't exist before, but they made their own convenience tier.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're by doing that they made more money because
What would be hilarious? Super Shocker, actually, he says the UI also is the
Yeah,
worst.
it's terrible.
agreed.
It's awful.
What they should do is have a tiered system: terrible UI price, good UI price. I would accept that over commercials.
yeah. Well, anyways, I'm gonna give you
Okay,
a
sorry.
list of 5 the Next Generation episodes to watch. There, I'm gonna give you homework for the month of April.
Okay.
It really is a great show. There's a reason there's a cult following and everything. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you like 5 of them, and then I'm gonna make sure one of them includes the holodeck because
Okay.
there's like 10 episodes throughout the whole
Someone
series.
up there said the holodeck episodes always go wrong.
Well, because they're
Someone in chat.
because when When you mess with that,
You know what's funny is everybody, and I've not seen this just in our chat, but across the interwebs, everybody hates the Hulu UI. Like,
Yeah,
why don't
and-
they change it? Like, what?
Because they're making money. Why?
Good
What
point.
they have is
Why pay for that
What
guy
they
to
have
change
is
it?
what they have is any show on network television is on Hulu, and so that's the gold factor. Like, it's no one else is doing that.
Do you know who has the best UI? I think Netflix has a really good UI. Amazon's isn't.
No, Amazon's
that
is confusing. I
great.
don't like the bar.
Honestly,
Amazon's is the PlayStation UI.
I don't know if it's because
bars.
yeah, it really is. I don't know if it's because Netflix was first and you're just so used to it.
Oh,
but even Disney Plus's UI isn't all that great. It's like
Amazon
why,
is like or Disney's like a merge between Amazon.
well, the thing
and
about
Netflix.
Disney Plus is why do I have to log in and then go to my section of the list? It should be like Netflix where I log in. Here's my list right away. Here's top movies, new movies, right, and then it's just.
Because here's why.
Yeah,
Because
I know.
because Netflix is not trying to sell you anything. They've already got what they're selling you, and so they're trying to give you a viewing experience. Amazon is built with in mind, also encouraging you to buy and rent videos from them. So that's the difference there. But Disney has no excuse.
Yeah, it's just odd.
Disney's isn't bad, but what Disney doesn't have is it doesn't automatically play to the next thing. That's annoying.
oh, that's frustrating.
Yeah, especially when you have.
They probably
when
do
you
that.
have-
No, it does. It does.
No, when you
No.
have a daughter, then why is it that when
Because-
my children are watching the Spider-Man series and each episode's only like 15 minutes long, I've got to constantly sit there with the remote and Daddy, it's over. Can
So
you go
it
to the next one?
it does for my kids shows. It's like a 30-second timer.
No, it
Yeah.
does not go.
Maybe
to the
it's a
next one.
setting. You know what else bothers me about Disney Plus?
Huh.
So it's Disney.
It's really
right?
good. I really like.
No,
Disney
no,
Plus,
it
but
does. But so let's take the new movie Onward, for
I love that
example,
movie.
right? If you have a kid's profile, like you set up kids profile and you check mark for kids, because then it doesn't give
My
you all
avatar
like.
is Donald Duck.
Well, yeah, but when you check, Yes.
I
but when
feel like I'm Donald Duck. That I was like, who represents me? Donald Duck. He's a little bit cool, a little bit grouchy.
That's very good. Jordan, back to you.
yeah, sorry.
no, so you check mark the 4 kids, right? And then basically it auto filters so you don't get like dirty shows for kids, right?
Yeah.
Now it being Disney Plus, there's really not much of that on there anyway. But of course they have shows that Star Wars a little bit more violent, stuff like that. Now, riddle me this: why is Onward a PG movie? It's not in the kids section. I couldn't find it anywhere. And there's a lot of movies like that. Like Cars 1 and 2 is in the kids section, but then you have to go to an adult profile to get Cars 3. Like it's
Yeah, that's a little bit off.
yeah. I feel like they're using the same technology that YouTube uses
Well,
for their
isn't
guilt
Cars 3
system.
though when the Porsche becomes a whore?
No, she's like barely in it.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't she show us her nipples? You get some car nip.
Yeah. Shows her the
she
radiator.
Lifts up her hood. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. No, it's not. Like Onward is in the adult section. It's
Yeah, Onward is not.
Yeah, and it's
adult.
not. It's
What
like,
surprises me is the show. I feel like was written for adults more, but my kids love it.
Oh, it's a great show.
It's good.
It's
I
yeah.
love that show.
Anyway, it just it throws me off that the kid. It's just weird.
Reactor League. Also, Donald doesn't wear pants. He represents me perfectly. Yes, he fully represents me.
That's funny. Scrooge McDuck, that's you.
Scrooge McDuck. Yes.
You
No,
want to
you know
dive
what?
into
Right
a,
now.
you want
No,
a
right
vault
now.
full of gold.
Right now, I'm Donald. If I were to become a billionaire, I would be Scrooge McDuck.
You know what's
yes.
funny is
go swimming in your
Yes.
I've been watching the original DuckTales.
It's good.
Yeah, the original ones. They're with Huey, Dewey, and Louie and
Actually,
Scrooge, and they're
what
funny.
What I have found on the Disney
Nightwing Duck.
channel
Nightwing is awesome.
and Spicy, you've got to watch these. They're actually really good. The storytelling. It's hilarious, but it's the like adult Mickey Mouse.
Oh yeah, they're like
It's-
7 minutes. They actually make me laugh.
They're
like,
hilarious. Like Goofy
is an
this-
alcoholic.
Goofy's like an
yeah,
alcoholic.
he's a hillbilly
He's
alcoholic.
hick.
Yeah,
and
I
he's
know.
hilarious. Donald's still Donald, but Mickey, and the situations
Let
that they
me
go
tell
into,
you. Let me tell you about one 7-minute episode I watched the other night.
they're really short. I think are they on like Cartoon Network
I don't
or something?
know what they are.
I think that's
basically
what they're on.
what happened is Goofy's mother came to town, and Goofy said, "Hey, my mother can't stay at my house because I'm an alcoholic hick, basically.
Yeah.
And can she stay here? It's much cleaner."
At Mickey's.
And yeah, Mickey's. And then all of a sudden, the grandmother is like hitting on Mickey the entire time. Like she's
hilarious.
she's like sleeping in his bed, like looking at him and stuff. And like the whole,
He's,
it's the
like,
whole,
getting nervous.
yeah, and like the whole thing is really weird. And then at the end, you actually find out that it's Goofy in a suit because he actually didn't want to stay at his own home. it was like. It was so, and it's
that
like-
makes
And
sense.
that's on the kids section.
that makes sense. The background of the lore from where Huey, Dewey, and Louie comes from. Because if you look at who their parents, their mom is, she's like some prostitute.
Yeah, she is. She's basically
Yeah,
a
Darla Duck or
whore.
something like
yeah,
that?
Darla Duck. I looked it all up because I was like, they call him Uncle Donald.
And Uncle Scrooge.
I was like,
his
is this
parents?
Daisy's illegitimate children? No.
It makes sense that this is the offshoot where all the canon came from.
Dude, it's awesome. So the first time it came on, my kids were watching it, I was like, is this some weirdo's
Yeah,
version
you're
of-
kind of like
what is
looking
this?
around like, is this okay for
What?
kids? Like,
But
why
now
is
I love it. It's like I will turn that on and just it's hilarious.
It's almost like, did you ever watch like the Ed, and Eddie cartoons? It's kind of like this weird hybrid of, I guess it could
It's
be
like
for
if
kids,
you
but
took
it's also
Ren and
for
Stimpy
adult. Yeah, it's,
and put it in Mickey Mouse. Like that's what it is.
They HBO'd it.
They HBO'd Mickey Mouse, but not really.
yeah,
because
it's a
even
weird
though-
middle zone.
Even though he's not wearing any pants,
They young adulted.
They don't show
they
anything.
young adulted Mickey Mouse.
like the episode I just explained to you, it's kind of like, that was really weird, but it was funny. And I'm okay with my kids watching that.
Yeah,
like,
it's hilarious. I'm very impressed with the
I
storytelling.
bet you what had happened is it's basically like the guys in the mailroom are like, hey, you want to
You
know
know what'd be
you want a
hilarious?
funny episode for Mickey Mouse? And the guys just went down there like, yeah, okay.
The
Yeah,
birthplace of the idea, guys.
Anyways, well, that does us for today's show, everybody. Thank you very much for hanging out and listening. It's a great time to be a gamer. There are so many good games.
It's
very
actually,
exciting.
I've been incredibly stressful with games this week.
Really, why?
Because everything comes.
Yeah.
Everything's been coming out.
I mean, look at the 3 seasons. We had Apex event, Season 3 Vigor, Season 3 Modern Warfare, and then I'm still trying to beat Doom and Ori. And then you had Final Fantasy VII drop today.
Also, you've been playing.
It was-
You have been playing CS:GO. Tell me about your CS:GO experience.
Dude, that game is fun, and the thing is, it's one of the only games where if you kill someone, you feel like a bad A. You're like, oh my gosh, I just killed that guy, because everything is it's a very technical game.
Yeah.
With your aim and stuff. I mean, even if you don't pull
Spicy,
up a
have you
headshot,
played CS:GO?
Yes, a long time ago. I haven't played in a while.
it's really fun.
But you're doing that in prep for Valorant.
Well, because I'm really excited for Valorant. I'm
you think that's
super
coming to
excited.
Xbox?
Probably not.
No,
Riot.
no,
Riot?
Yeah.
It's Riot. Yeah.
Who is owned by Smilegate? Who is
Aren't they the
doing
Crossfire
X? Yeah.
Crossfire
So
X
I'm
guys?
no,
maybe
I've
we'll come to
I've
Xbox.
been super excited. For,
Maybe.
Don't they
yeah,
leave
but
money on the table with that type of game? Because it makes sense why League of Legends isn't on Xbox. I completely accept that, right? Like that's just okay. But this game is built for a controller.
well, the thing is I think we're actually in.
Valorant?
Yeah, I mean, it's not difficult. It fits. It fits a Call of Duty player can play it, right?
I mean, honestly, I think
It's not, but I would say you can play it with a controller, but I wouldn't say it's built for a controller. It's
I
definitely.
think any first-person shooter with
Trend.
simplified mechanics is built for a
Well,
controller.
honestly, I think you can put League of Legends on a controller very easily.
Well, perhaps okay. Oh, actually, did you see the news? Speaking of that, sorry, I'm all over the place here.
Yeah, I have like 3 things to say.
Okay, go ahead. Let me write
Yeah.
my. I just wrote down my notes. This is like a debate.
I should have brought a notebook.
Notepad. Sorry, go ahead. Valorant.
No.
You don't think
No,
that
because it's Riot. They don't.
But I just feel like
The last
this-
game that they made it into a third-person shooter, it took them a year to figure out the controls. And you know what I'm talking about.
Wait, what?
What's the game that you're addicted to, David?
Vigor?
Vigor. Yeah.
That's not right.
That's not right.
No, but they're the developer of them. They're the ones who did DayZ and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
a PC builder. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I see what you're saying. yeah.
The last PC developer, there's some learning curves.
I believe
to get a
I be-
controller.
I was loading up the screen the first time I noticed Epic Games produces Vigor.
Huh. Well, I think Epic Games is planning to produce
over the
every
world.
game.
Yeah, wow.
Guess who owns a part of Epic Games?
Yeah.
Smilegate. No, I'm really excited for Valorant because I just think it looks fun, and I'm super excited for Crossfire X because it's that Counter-Strike Valorant feel on the console. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, that being said, about games coming to the console, I actually think we're in a day and age where a lot more PC games are coming to console because I think consoles, especially how we're doing them now with like you have the Xbox One X, you know, these mid-cycle upgrades like you do with PCs, I think they're more viable for, you know,
Yeah,
PC, you know what I mean? And,
just-
you know, money, right?
Yeah.
I just think PC developers generally have a hard time converting that to real playable controller inputs. I just I've had bad experiences
PC developers, I mean.
No, yeah, because there's aspects of the controller that you need to. It's a finesse. It feels right or it feels wrong.
Just
and
go hire a group to do it. That's what they do.
that's your solution.
Yeah.
Hire
Well, here-
someone.
well, I guess
hire
what I'm
someone
saying
else.
is, I feel like League of Legends. There's a reason it's not on console, and it makes sense to me why it's not on console.
I actually think MOBAs would play better with a controller.
Yeah,
I
you
honestly
said
do.
that. But I feel like Valorant, they are just leaving money on the table if they don't bring that to console and fans, especially as an esport. You would want,
No, because esports
You couldn't
are
cross-
played on PC.
You couldn't cross-play a game like that.
yeah, but no. But the reason the NFL is so big is because every kid grows up playing football, so they understand it, right? Like
Also, the NFL is sorry to interrupt. The NFL is so big because they market shirts and shoes and everything, and there's lots of businesses that advertise with that. That's far more available on PC than on consoles because PC has parts from every different part of the world, all different sorts. You have every company in the world making different hardware, so you can have all these
you
different.
have more advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's harder for Xbox and PlayStation to get on the esports scene.
I am not
because of
saying
that
that you bring Valorant to Xbox to make it a console esport game. What I'm saying is you bring that game to console as an introduction to, hey, here's our game. These guys, a portion of those players that wouldn't have been, would then become esport fans, right? Overwatch, I think, is as big as Overwatch is because everyone on every console has access to it. So you've got players that otherwise wouldn't know anything about the game. If you don't know the game, you're not watching the game. That's just it, right? So I think they would have to bring it. Well, they don't have to bring it, but I think that would be smart.
You think it would have?
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends on their
Well, I mean,
numbers, what they plan to, how much time it's going to take to port that over,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
and money.
technically.
Speaking of that,
It's the same thing. It's built on DirectX 12,
Yeah.
right?
The editor of Windows Central, the
Lateral.
the editor of Windows Central had a tweet this week that he had sources saying that Blizzard is experimenting with controller mods for World of Warcraft.
Oh, that's been a thing forever, though.
Okay. The editor of Windows Central said this week that he has sources that it looks like Blizzard might be seriously
'cause
looking at
I think.
WoW
I think.
to this next generation of consoles.
I think. Well, you can put WoW on any generation of consoles. I think it has more clout now because of a couple things. Yes, your editor that came out. I think because I heard that too. The fact that Mike Ibarra is now over there and has connections with Microsoft. Right. I think it has more clout now. But
Not just Mike Ibarra. Who's the Gears guy?
oh, and then Rod Ferguson
Yeah.
is now over there over the Diablo stuff, right? So I think it has more clout now. It's been a rumor for a while that hey, why can't we bring Warcraft over to the consoles? I mean, I think after dealing with Final Fantasy on the console, I think I do now because I used to think World of Warcraft's got too many abilities, too many hotbars, you can't do it. After seeing how Final Fantasy deals with it, I think it's possible. I do still prefer the mouse and keyboard, but my brother-in-law plays Final Fantasy religiously on the controller, and he does things a lot better than I do sometimes, right?
Wow.
So anyway, it's just you got to get comfortable with it. Now that being said, I actually think it's always a funny debate because whenever this comes out, and I'm just going to talk about how toxic the internet is. People on like the Blizzard forums and stuff will be like, "Oh well, if WoW comes to console, it's going to be ruined and this and blah blah blah." And it's
Why?
like,
Why would it be
yeah, and
ruined?
that's like, what does it matter? Like, did you say
Yeah,
that? When
why
they-
would it be
yeah,
ruined?
Yeah,
Because you're massively multiplayer online
they're like,
RPG.
oh,
would
it
it be more massive?
well, the thing is, it's like, oh, if WoW was on the
Would
console,
it be more massively
well,
online?
basically, and they're saying, oh, if WoW was on the console, then it would suck there, and it's like, well, why
yeah, but you're
would
not
it?
playing.
Well, that's a tab. That's a especially that one. That's like a tab MMO where you press tab and it targets the next person. That would be left on the D-pad.
No, but I mean, it's just, but comments like that make me laugh because it's like, okay, well, it does. I mean, if they can make it work on a controller, they can make it work,
But
right?
just 'cause it's
You know,
not
like,
your
just because
preferred
you're not,
input device.
or it's not on your preferred
or
thing.
if it is inferior, if it still works, people have fun with it.
Yeah, if anything, it would enhance your experience because you'd have more players, right?
A bigger player base, which
Yeah,
helps
bigger player
everybody.
base, yeah.
Which
I mean,
is
if-
the point
to be
of
honest with
your
you-
massively
Yeah.
multiplayer online RPG.
And-
Massive.
I mean,
I like how you spelled it out, but when you went to RPG, you stopped.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I don't
role-playing game.
role
What
play.
the f- what's the
Stupid.
freak?
It's an
What's the
RPG.
freak?
no, but I mean, I mean, I think you'd get a lot of people that would go play both. Like, hey, I can play on the console and I can play on the PC, right? I would play it on the console.
Over
if it's
under,
there.
Jordan. Since we brought this up and you seem to have scoffed. Over under 1 year, World of Warcraft, not even on, but just an announcement that it's coming to console. Do you take that bet or no? Over,
and I actually don't think it's going to happen because of one reason.
Why? Tell me that reason.
And I'm going to say this, and
You're a purist?
everybody, no, I'm a purist. Yeah, I'm one of the commenters, right? No, I'm going to say this, and it's going to cause waves.
Oh, here we go.
And people,
buckle up.
People at Blizzard may
Buckle
not
up.
like me for this. I like Blizzard. I think they're a good company. I think they've made a lot of rocky decisions in the past little
Mikey
while.
Bora has listened to this show, so
I know.
might be listening.
I know. As of right now, how I feel, as of right now, this may change if they make some changes. I don't think Blizzard caters or particularly cares that much about the console.
That could be changing.
No,
though.
that's I 100% agree because it's their actions that they do, right?
Yeah.
So I agree 100%.
That's
But
just me.
they've got
That
new
may
blood.
change.
They
Hey,
do have new blood
if
that
they
came
co-
from the console verse
If they come out and say, "Hey, by the way,"
in leadership and key leadership
That's
roles.
true.
no,
People we respect a lot.
yeah, no, I'm not saying that I like them as a company.
Okay.
I think they make top tier games. That's just personally how I feel.
Mark, you say over as well? Over a year?
Oh,
think,
absolutely. Do you know how long it took them to bring out a game that they already released 15 years ago? It's gonna.
That's the thing,
Look.
though. I feel like if there's new leadership and they're trying. So, for instance, I'm looking at how Activision said, "Let's revive Call of Duty," right? And they were really aggressive with it. I feel like Blizzard, in getting new blood in there, might be in this similar situation of the Phil Spencer situation, right? Getting new blood into the Xbox leadership,
Didn't Activision?
and he's been super aggressive. I would say in a year we get an announcement.
Maybe. I mean, it's been a rumor for a while.
took them 12 years to build StarCraft 2.
There's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
12. That's 12. That's
Yeah,
one,
but
two
this is already built.
together.
And it feels like they kind of gave up on it as
Yeah.
of right today.
That's true. Yeah, you don't see StarCraft.
I feel like they've kind of given up on Heroes as well.
I agree with that.
Yeah, very interesting.
But speaking of Blizzard, Hearthstone came out this week.
You like what they did? See,
The thing is,
new
is
blood,
like,
maybe.
They
New blood.
they came out with a new genre of class that you could play, which they've never done.
New blood.
Demon Hunter.
Yeah.
Holy
Getting
crap.
aggressive.
The
See?
thing that Blizzard does,
And
is,
it was so overpowered. Sorry, Jordan.
Oh,
it
no,
was
sorry.
so overpowered that they had to insta soft patch it. That they made the cards do things that it actually didn't say they did, because that character was so overpowered. Anyways, back to you, Jordan.
Well, I was just gonna say the thing with Blizzard like that, like the things they do, it's like a roller coaster of emotions. Like they do something horrible, and then it's like Hearthstone patch. You're like, oh,
baby.
okay, well I can take that. They they do stuff, and then all of a sudden they come out with a really cool Diablo 4 trailer, and you're like, oh, okay. Okay, that's cool. I forgot about that previous thing. That's cool, you know. Like it's
Over under on Hearthstone coming to console 1 year.
okay. That and
Over.
there's another
Over.
reason why I don't
Over.
think they
There-
like the console. They'll put it on your
They
phone.
they put it on the phone that crashes every 5 seconds.
And don't give me
But
it
they
wouldn't
never
work.
have done a new class, and they just did that.
Yeah.
We could be in this new
But that's
Blizzard
what-
leadership.
But that's them building the game, not taking the time to put it on a.
I
console.
don't think it's that hard to put it on.
It's
the
literally
console.
one input button and a joystick.
Well, and people are like, but then you can't pick the cards
Don't
as much.
they-
Just use the bumpers.
Isn't
I mean,
that
it's
built
not-
on the Unreal Engine too? Like, I don't think it's a hard stretch to have it put on the console.
Is it really? I thought Blizzard used all
No,
proprietary.
I think that one's. I might be.
they were
wrong.
just like, nah. let's
Oh
use
look,
that.
I think it's a pretty common engine that they did that game on.
the Blizz engine.
the Blizzgen.
The Blizzard.
The Blizz engine. No, okay. Look, the more I'm always for putting games wherever you can, right? I'm super excited. Vigor's going to the Switch, right?
yeah.
I'm really excited.
I'm
You know,
excited because it's going to be crossplay, and I'm going to rock
it-
those little kids.
Is it going to be crossplay?
Yeah, it's crossplay.
Is it going to be cross save?
I don't know
it's
about
Unity.
that.
They did it on the Unity engine.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
in Unity, yeah.
So I mean, when you have games that are in multiple places, like I love what Call of Duty did. How you have it on the PC and you have it on the console. You choose which input device you want to be matched up against.
And that's who you play
I
with.
think that's
And
the
that's who you
future,
play
though.
with.
I think
And
everyone's going to have
the
that
best
as
part
option.
is it's cross save. I've played Warzone on my computer and I have a good time because you'll play it at work or whatever, and then you come home and you play on the console. It's great, right? I'm all for games going to as many places as they can, right? That being, I mean, if World of Warcraft comes to the console, I'll be the first one to jump on it and get get the
Yeah.
subscription going, right?
Dude,
I'm
what
excited
about-
for Final
what do you
Fantasy
think-
to come to
What
Xbox.
do you think achievements will be on a World of Warcraft coming? To
Oh, they'll probably be like a crapshoot of achievements. Like reach level 10,
like
kill a
stuff
monster,
Like
and they'll each be worth like 100 gamer scores, so they only have to make 10 of them.
that. Oh yeah. So they don't have to worry.
You know,
about
have you ever played a game where they just have like you go to the achievements, you're like, oh, they
There's,
really
like,
didn't care
5.
at all.
It's like,
Okay,
finish the prologue.
like no offense,
finish level 2. Finish game.
No offense, I really like this game a lot, and I hope it gets big. But Bleeding Edge did that. They're like, nah.
I would've
Oh,
kept
yeah,
about
well, like
achievements.
within
There's
3
like 8
hours, we got them all.
Yeah, there's like 8 achievements, and they're all worth like 200 points. You're like, oh, okay. So I think it'll be something like that because Blizzard actually has, like ESO does, they actually have their own in-game achievement system.
Oh, so they don't care.
Yes, they don't care.
It would
to
be
be honest-
hilarious if they made every achievement worth 1, and they had 1,000
1,000
achievements.
achievements.
That would be cool.
Oh, that is fun.
And it's
I would
coll- and
call
it's-
that not cool. That would suck.
And it's collection.
Imagine scrolling through that.
Those
like,
would
oh
be
my
the most diamond achievements ever, though. It's
Yeah,
all
they would.
and it's all collection achievements.
Yeah.
Took 3 steps on April 7th. Ding.
I think Blizzard with their next expansion, the Shadowlands, what they're doing with like how you level up now, I think it's the perfect time to come to console because new players won't be as intimidated how their new leveling system is going to work. It's basically one Tamriel.
Right. Mark this day, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
but that being said, I will be the first one to buy it and get it on the console 100%, but I don't think they're going to do it.
Mark this day. I think I think Warcraft and Hearthstone announcements in the next year. To
I
console.
disagree.
At least announcements.
I think all of Blizzard's games could be on the console. Yet
I agree.
Only one of them is.
Yeah, what's that?
And
Diablo? No, 2. Diablo.
Overwatch.
Diablo.
Oh, sorry, 2 of them. You're right.
Diablo.
Yeah, Diablo
And Overwatch is so not balanced for a console. They're just like they're like, whatever. Meh. But Blizzard is they're always known to do the adjustments and balancing and gameplay
From the
mechanics
top.
from the top down, pro level to the
Yeah.
to down. So, which makes us console players just.
Being said, I like Blizzard a lot. They got a lot of good games. I play them all. If they all came to the console, I'd give them more of my money.
It's true. I would too.
Take my money.
But
Let's get
But
out of
we'll see.
here, everybody. This has been a long end of the show where we've really
Yeah, this
got
is
off
yeah.
topic.
They were saying in chat this is more like a post-show talking segment.
Yeah, we're loose, baby. It's coronavirus. Quarantine time.
COVID-19.
Guys, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for being here. Don't forget, come join us over on Discord. Have a great week. Enjoy some games. Hotline Miami $24.99.
that's so
We're
exciting!
gonna be playing it next month. So if you're busy with games, don't worry about rushing that yet. Next month it's gonna be our game of the month, Game Club. Ori and the Blind Forest, not Blind Forest. Sorry, Will of the Wisp is our Game Club game this month. We'll see you guys. Bye bye.